everybody? All right, so we got another chat for today, coming with another live. You already know the business. As we wait for more people to start getting these notifications and all this goodness, because you already know how this goes. Interesting that today we got to talk about these things. This is going to be a good one. It won't be that long. This is going to be probably like a quick video, but we're just going to be talking about some of these things, like I said, from the topic, from what we're seeing, and all that good stuff. So, if it's your first time tuning in, show your support, hit that subscribe, because we're going to be talking about all this goodness. And this is just fun stuff that we're going to be chatting. So, what's up to everybody that's out there? Again, we're going to wait for these notifications to go out, and we're about to get started in a few. What's up with everybody? What's up? What up? All right, I'm about to get started. I'm gonna give it a few more seconds, and we're gonna talk about this real quick. All right, so, all right, cool. Let's just talk about this. All right, let's get right to the point. All right, so first things first, let's talk about this shitty Superman that's coming up next week. And look, you can see all these shits that are coming out hard for Superman, and they're trying to make all these, fake numbers and all this fake hype. So saying that that everybody's interested in stuff like that. They can't even fill up the seats in the movie theaters yet. They think that they're going to make bank next week, but we'll see where that's gonna stand at. What's up? What's up? Appreciate y'all for watching all that good stuff. All right, so look, honestly, this whole thing with Superman, it's starting off bad, and it's all gonna end next week. This is all DOA. There's no saving it. It's too late, and from all the ads they're posting out and putting out, it's just sad. Every time it's more and more cringe, and it's just like, wow, like this is what WB is doing. This is what they're believing in. Even they don't believe in it, honestly. They're just like, yeah, whatever, let's just put it out there because we have a contract to finish, and let's just wrap this up pretty much. So there's things that are coming out more and more, and by the time we see this next week, we're gonna see that there's gonna be a lot of spoilers with this movie. And one thing that they're talking about is this one post that came out. And again, this is all rumors. I don't know if it's true or not. And like I said, I'm not going to watch the movie. I don't plan on watching it. Like, I'm just not interested in it. But somebody posted that the new Superman is brutal, like really, really bad. That the flying scenes look like an unfinished PS3. The cut scenes, like the music is trying so hard to be like a bootleg Hans Zimmer type, epic, but it's not. The movie's all over the place. They don't know if they want it to be a cartoon or live action. And talk about the last battle, that it's very emotionally empty, and apparently the Pa Kent scenes were laughably forced. So, that that's very interesting with that. Yeah, you saw the Transformers videos. I agree with you. All right, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, like we're gonna talk about that in a few. So that's one of the main things I want to talk about mainly. But yo, what up? What up? See y'all. This whole thing with Superman is just a mess. We're talking right now real quick about DC. Um, it's just a mess. They're desperate. They're forcing all type of marketing last minute, trying to cram in there, and it's just crap, honestly. Next week is going to tank so bad at the box office. They can't even sell the pre-sale tickets. That tells you everything about this movie, honestly. Tomorrow I'm gonna go see Jurassic World, and that's gonna be nuts. Like, I can't wait to go see that. I know a lot of people are talking good about that and stuff. You have mixed reactions, but you can see all these shills from James Gunn are trying to bad talk on Jurassic World because they already know, they fear it. They know that that's gonna make money at the box office, and they're just trying to stop it and stuff like that. So it's all good. I'm not worried about it because, I believe in the Jurassic World brand, and they're gonna pull through. You'll see. I'm telling y'all straight up. Hello, my fan Zack Snyder and Michael Bay can come back with Transformers, then we can get Zack Snyder back to finish the films, and don't forget the Echoes of Yesterday by Joshua. Yeah, for sure, for sure. This industry is changing, things are shifting, and that's the good thing about it. Because all this content that's been coming out lately, like, it's just been trash, and we're seeing it with DC. Like, honestly, I hate the new Superman movie for one simple reason: they should never ended the old DCU for one simple reason: it made money. When your fans give you money, it's a vote for you do more. Yep, exactly. I agree with you. And that's another thing too, like, while staying on topic but jumping, that's what Marvel is doing, like Marvel, if you see it, after Endgame, everything has just went down the drain, and the pipe has been so clogged up that they, meaning Marvel, had to call back the Russo brothers so they can do the next, I guess, Avengers saga or whatever it is that they're trying to do. And that's good for them, that's good because we need good movies like that again. And when you see that, how things are slowly shifting in this industry, we need that more. And like the whole Marvel formula ended at Endgame, and it's already proven. And after Endgame, all these shows that they've been putting on the streaming service, all these movies, they haven't been doing it. It's just not it. Thunderbolts, also known as the new Avengers, it tanked at the box office. It just underperformed very, very bad, honestly. But again, this is Marvel doing what Marvel does. What's your favorite comic book movie of all time? One of my favorites is Batman versus Superman Ultimate Edition. That right there is perfection. Yeah, for sure. Um, my all-time, for sure, that's one of them. Along with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Those are my top two, honestly. Like, man, like it's just, and even though, like, I get it's not part of the Snyderverse and stuff, but Batman Returns, that's one of my guilty pleasures, honestly. Like 89 is cool, but I prefer Batman Returns. Of course, like, like, I don't know what it is, but it's just a badass movie. I really, really watch that movie like every year and stuff like that. But of course, Batman versus Superman Ultimate Edition and Zack Snyder's Justice League, those are the top ones that I really like. Iron Man 2, that's another one of my guilty pleasures. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I just liked it because we got War Machine finally in live action, and he's just a badass in that movie and stuff. So, hell yeah, restore the Snyderverse. I can't see you. I know. I have it on. I'm private. You can't see me. Nobody can. Only the close people that I have. But I just do that because, like I said, I like to remain private and stuff. So it's not about my face. It's about the message and what we're talking about and stuff like that, which is the important part. The face, it doesn't matter and stuff like that. So I just try to keep it like that. Because, like I said in one of the videos, I could be anywhere. I could be around you and you don't even know it. And I like it like that. I just like to remain anonymous sometimes. And only the close people that know me and stuff are the ones that actually know me and stuff. But besides that, especially so much things on the internet and stuff, but whatever. Another thing, too, that's very interesting, with this whole Marvel thing, them bringing back the Russo brothers, they're setting up something and they're planning up something good with whatever they're gonna do the next what is it, Avengers. And I can't wait, honestly. I really can't wait. And they're gonna do something good for sure. They're going back to the drawing board. They're seeing what worked, what didn't work, and they're cutting all the fluff out, honestly. And that's good. That's what this industry needs to do, what these companies need to do and stuff like that. So, and honestly, like that's exactly what this industry needs. And from that, jump into the next topic, which is still the same topic, but kind of jumping here and there. The Transformers, like, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, as a Transformers fan, wow, I am so happy of what's coming out left and right. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, like I posted in the most recent video, not for nothing, but before this announcement of Michael Bay, the stocks for Hasbro, they were kind of low. They were just like WB. They were bad, but not as bad as WB. And ever since that announcement with Michael Bay making a comeback and returning back to, to do another Transformers movie, look, I'm gonna be real with you. The stocks are starting to go up for them. So things are changing. Things are changing for the company, and that's good. They need that because they need to make money. And of course, if from here to 2029 they don't do anything with the movie and their own IP, they're gonna lose the rights to their own movies. And as a Transformers fan, I don't want them to go through that. You get what I'm saying? Like what Marvel did in the 90s with the X-Men and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure they're doing Secret Wars, but I'm saying like they're gonna do something very, very nice. That's the whole point. And now what they're doing with Hasbro by bringing Michael Bay. Look, yesterday their stocks closed at $73.82. If you look at the previous before that, they haven't been high like that. They've been in the low, 70s and stuff like that, and sometimes below. But now today they opened up at $77 with 77 cents. So it's starting to go up, and it's like, people are starting to talk about Transformers, and that's good. We need that, especially in this industry, and it's just awesome. It's awesome. Like I said, three different directors, it didn't work with them. Three different takes, it didn't work. So the studio needs to make money. How do you make money? You have to go back to what worked. And if Marvel could bring back the Russo brothers, then what the hell, and Hasbro, with this whole rumor going around that they want to bring back Michael Bay, let's do it. Let's do it, and that's what's gonna, save the brand, honestly. Let's be real. Before Michael Bay came on board, Hasbro with their brand were in the same situation right now. They were sinking. They were doing bad. They were really, really bad. And the 2007, when Michael Bay's movie, the first Transformers live action movie, that's forever gonna go down in history. And here we are, and that's the awesome part about it, and it's dope. It's really, really dope. And being able to see all that, I'm telling you straight up, just that's what made them money. They need to keep it that way and just not get away from it. And I'm telling you straight up, they could build so much with the next franchise. It's a public stunt. I don't think it's a public stunt, honestly. They're just probably testing the waters to see the reaction of fans, and they're getting a lot of reactions that are positive. Sure, you're gonna have some that are negative, but in the long run, the studio knows that without Michael Bay, they were losing money. They were losing money big time. Are you excited for Jurassic World? Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going tomorrow to go see it, so I can't wait, honestly. It would help if they actually announce the title. Yeah, but they're probably working on all that, so that's why we don't have a title right now. And for sure, it's got to be the GI Joe crossover. Like that's for sure one movie that they're gonna. We haven't heard anything on it, but we know it's not canceled, like Transformers 2. Like the sequel for Transformers 1. We know that's already canceled. They actually officially announced it, that there's no plans for it and stuff like that. Things could change. They could probably do another one, and who knows what they're working behind the scenes and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. No contract with Michael Bay. Not yet. Not yet. But remember, Michael Bay's still there to fund them with the production, so they're still going to need Michael Bay regardless. Yo, what's good? See, what up? What up? What up, everybody? All right, what up, everybody? Seeing G.I. Joe has never been successful in movies. Nope, that's true. They haven't, but maybe a crossover will help them. So there's only one way to find out, by doing it. That's the only way you can really find out if it's gonna work or not. And look at where we are with the Fast Saga. And talking about the Fast Saga, did y'all hear that that they're trying to bring back the character of from Paul Walker back into this movie? Look, man, at this point, I don't even care if they do it. Honestly, I'm like, some people are like, oh, that's disrespectful and this and that. No, if they got his brother, or what is it? I think it was his brother and stuff to play him. Yo, do it. I mean, just if it's gonna be the last movie, just go all out and just have fun. That's it. Who cares? Like at this point, it just doesn't matter. Like I said, if they could launch a car into space, I mean, and they brought, what was the guy? I forgot the guy from Tokyo Drift, that he came back and they explained that very well. I was like, wow, okay, good. I can't remember his name right now, but if they could do that, shit, they could do this with this guy too. So I wouldn't mind that, honestly. We need Bay to resurrect Shockwave and bring in the Combaticons for a G.I. Joe crossover. Yeah, that would be dope. That would be freaking sick. I really want to see all these combiners in the next movie, honestly, going at it. You imagine all that? The G.I. Joe characters going at it with the Transformers. Like they're teaming up, good and bad. It's just chaos everywhere. That's what I want to see, honestly. Explosions, unnecessary explosions. Like, I don't even care, honestly. I just want good, fun films. That's it. And Michael Bay delivers with that. Back, Bay back. Hell yeah, Bay back. Hell yeah, hell yeah. They brought back Gal Gadot in the last movie. Yeah, exactly. They brought her back in the last one. That anything is possible. They're bringing all these characters. They know what's working and what's selling. So it's like, I don't even know why they got away from it in the first place. And that's it is what it is, but it works. Like the Fast Saga, as ridiculous as it is one universe that you still have the same cast, and I love that. I love that, bringing in new cast and sticking with the old cast. That's what makes the franchise good. And like I said, it's not about racing cars anymore. It's just not. It's about them I don't even know what it is about anymore, but it's still fun. That's it. It's just good fun, and that's all that I care about when it comes to the movies and stuff like that. So Some of the previous Michael Bay movies were laughably bad. It has its moments and stuff, but for the most part, the action, they're entertaining. You know, the same thing with the when he was producing the TMNT, the first what it was the last two live action ones with that were CG. I loved those movies, honestly. At first I didn't like the designs, but then they grew on me, and like I'm like, damn, we need a third one. Finish it, like just do one last one. I mean, they already introduced Krang, and I was like, yo, you can't just leave that on a cliffhanger either. It's like what? Like go back and finish it. That's what I like. Um, let's see. The true DCU must return. Yeah, it is honestly, especially with what's going on now with Marvel bringing back Russo brothers to do whatever it is. Secret Wars and stuff like that. That's one good winning point for them. And with Paramount bringing Michael Bay, or planning on bringing him back to do more Bayformers, that's another win for them. That's two. And like I just put up a Twitter post, saying like if those two studios can do it, it's just a matter of time for WB to redeem themselves with DC and bring back Zack Snyder to restore the Snyderverse. And that's it. It's gonna be a win. It's gonna be a huge win. Like after all these flops, this is why it depends very much next week for Superman to tank at the box office. It's not going to flop. I mean, it's not going to succeed. It's going to flop. And WB knows it. They know that they're not going to make the money that they're expecting. They already know that they're screwed front end and back end and sideways, because remember, Jurassic World kicks off summer tomorrow in the movie industry. Then next week, Superman, that's not going to get the money that they're expecting. And then the week after that, Fantastic Four. And then the week after that, you're going to get the Smurfs. So it's like you got three movies that people really want to go see. You have a handful of people that want to go and see Superman. Look, if Superman was so hot, the toys are not selling out. The tickets are not selling out. Merchandise is already hitting clearance. It's not going anywhere, literally. It's just there sitting. Nobody's interested. And by the time that movie comes out, everything's gonna go on clearance. Massive. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be like probably on like 50% clearance, because they have to move product for the new season. Whether it's for, the season like like the holiday season, that they need these shelves, and for the new merchandise that's coming up from from the same companies. For example, McFarlane, he's gonna need the shelf space to put all his merchandise again for the new stuff that's coming out, new waves or whatever it is from with the DC line and stuff. Because remember, in next year, sometime in the summer, he's done with the line, so he's gonna be pumping out more and more stuff. And when you have all this stuff just sitting there, it's gonna go straight to Ross. This is why they're doing that Ross exclusive of Superman, because they know that that movie is going to tank. It's so shitty that they don't even believe in it. They're like, you know what? Screw it. We know that all this stuff is going to end up at Ross anyway. Let's just do a Ross exclusive. That's how bad it is. It's like, that's pretty embarrassing. Like, we were all making fun of it. Oh, it's not going to sell. It's going to go to Ross. And they're literally making a circus out of themselves, because they're like, you know what? None of this content and none of this stuff is going to sell. Let's just put it out there on clearance on our own, because regardless, people are going to want to come out here. Those shits are still not going to sell at Ross. I'm telling you right now. If they didn't sell for regular price, they're going to end up at Ross, and they're still not going to sell. They're going to end up going to Ollie's. And then after Ollie's, when they don't sell, like Ollie's is the last option out there when it comes to like when merchandise doesn't sell. Guess where it goes to after there? To the landfill, where they destroy and completely throw away all this stuff. That's what they did with a bunch of Funko Pops back in like 2 or 3 years ago, that they didn't sell, so they end up in the landfill because nobody wants them. Ross doesn't want them because they can't sell them. Like TJ Maxx can't get them because nobody wants to buy them. So it's like, what do? You just throw them all in the dump, in the landfill, and you do a tax write-off, and that's it. That's what's gonna happen with this. And WB is feeling the crunch right now. They really are. And it's crazy. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I think James Gunn is trying to steal all the ideas and the concept from what Zack Snyder had. Because remember, when they wanted to do Man of Steel, this whole thing with Brainiac and a whole bunch of things that were supposed to happen, and it never happened. So James Gunn could go ahead and copy and paste. Just James Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. And it doesn't matter how many screenings, how many things he goes back into the studio and tries to fix it. It's still not going to work. It's a disaster. They're saying that this movie of Superman, it's a mess. It's a mess. And that shows you that that's exactly who James Gunn is. He's not a leader. James Gunn has never been a leader. He's always been a follower. He's just doing this out of spite because he's jealous of Zack Snyder. He's so desperate trying to be like Zack Snyder. He's never going to be, you know? This is why I like what we're seeing now with Hasbro, with them bringing back now Michael Bay for the Transformers, because that's what helped the brand. That's what saved the brand. And now it's already proven that you need them back with the Transformers brand. The same thing with Marvel. Marvel knows that with the Russo brothers and what was working before, that's what was working. And you can't say the same now. And the same thing with DC. With James Gunn, it's not working. Peter Safran, they've been costing the company so much money. They're costing the company more money than what they are and should be bringing in money with these movies. When you have movies like Barbie, okay, they hit $1 billion. Okay, next movie that came after that, what happened? It tanked. I think it was Joker 2 that came out. That movie tanked. They were expecting $1 billion. And then look at what happened with that. Look at what happened with The Flash. The Flash tanked at the box office. Opening weekend, what it was like $88 million when it opened at the time when it came out. That's bad. And what do you think, that the Saints not going to happen to Superman? Of course it is. It's going to be even worse. That's what I'm telling you. It's just declining more and more. And it's funny to see how some of these James Gunn fans come out and they're still trying to defend it and trying to say, oh, well, James Gunn knows what he's doing. How does he know what he's doing? He hasn't made anything a success at the box office. Everything has been tanking. It all started with the Suicide Squad. From the Suicide Squad to where we are right now, it's just been going downhill and downhill and downhill. They thought that Joker 2 was going to save them. And look at how bad that was. Oh, Minecraft. Okay, it made some money at the box office. Good. But that's it. They're done. They're not making money anymore. They didn't even make $1 billion. They were close to it, which I don't know how the hell that happened, but it happened. Good. Okay, good. Congrats. Superman's not going to be like that. It's going to be completely the opposite of that. It's going to tank. And proof of it is merchandise is not selling. Those pre-sale tickets. All right, let's analyze this. You have pre-sale tickets over a month ago, and you still have theaters that have not sold out. So if they haven't sold out for pre-sale tickets, what makes you think that they're going to sell out next week on the actual release of the movie? It's not. All of these James Gunn shills are just shilling for nothing because they didn't show up for all these other movies. They didn't show up for nothing, and they're not going to show up for Superman. They're not. It's not enough fans that they got, and everything is going to be exposed and fully revealed on July 11th. And the studio knows it, and this is the same thing with the Transformers brand. As a fan, look, Hasbro knows, Paramount knows that, all right, 3 movies, we've lost so much money. All 3 of those movies, Transformers 1, Rise of the Beast, and Bumblebee, combine them, they still don't even add up more than what The Last Knight brought in. That's sad. That tells you everything. So you have these, wannabes, if you want to say, and it's not working. James Gunn is a wannabe to Zack Snyder. All these other 3 directors, yeah, they did their own take, they did their own thing with the Transformers, but they're all wannabes to Michael Bay. You're not going to get that success, and it didn't work. This is why they constantly move from director to director 3 times, 3 different takes. All right, screw it. Let's just call back Michael Bay. All right, good. Finally, you're doing something right. And the same thing with Marvel. They had to call back the Russo brothers. Hey, look, help us out with this. Because they made how much they made with Infinity War and Endgame. Both of them were $1 billion or over $1 billion. What do they need? That's what they want. You see what I'm saying? So it's like them bringing all these characters as quote unquote variants, like Robert Downey Jr. to be a variant and this and that. Yo, Marvel, let's be real. Marvel copied Zack Snyder because remember, Ben Affleck's Batman was supposed to die in Justice League on the original plans. And what happened? They scrapped that. And I'm glad. You know why? Because Marvel copied it. Because they killed off Iron Man. And look at what situation they're in right now. They don't have an Iron Man. What do they need to rely on? A hologram of Iron Man. And not only that, they had to bring in Robert Downey Jr. to now play a variant. What does that tell you? You should have never killed off your character in the first place. You should have never done that. You did that to yourself, Marvel. Now you're in this situation. Look at how bad the reviews are coming in for Ironheart. Should we say any more? What about War Machine? They just got him there sitting. He's a side character. And War Machine has always been a main character along with Iron Man. The moment Iron Man died, they should have just said, you know what? We're going to focus on War Machine and we're going to do whatever we want. But that's our new Iron Man. But no, They just been letting that rot away, and it's literally gotten rusted in the sense where, like, well, you guys wasted too much time, and it is what it is. That's why when you're seeing everything that we're seeing now, all these announcements, even if they're rumors, it's good because people are talking about it, and that's the beautiful part about it. It's all it's good. It's good. People are talking about it, and you're starting to see more negative reactions of Superman, and all these shills that were coming out and simping and saying, "Oh, Superman, go see it. It's coming soon to theaters." Blah blah blah. You can see now that they've seen Superman, but they just can't talk about it, and you could see how they're faking it even more because they're not as excited as before they saw the movie. After they saw the movie, I'm telling you right now, all of those clowns know that this is going to be DOA. They know it. They know that this is dead on arrival. They know it. They can't stop it. It's already done. The damage is done to the DC brand. And seeing them, how they're coming out and trying to fake, this whole, oh yeah, I'm excited for Superman, but deep down inside, they know that it's a disaster. They just can't say it because they already got paid. You get what I'm saying? WB already paid them off. And they're like, you know what? We have to do what we have to do with what they paid us. Yeah, this is why I don't shill. See what I'm saying? I don't sell out. I don't sell out to none of y'all, and I won't never, because I don't have a price tag. My close friends, they know how I am, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sell out for what? Sell out for what? Oh wow, for a check? Get out of here with that shit, man. I got more dignity. See what I'm saying? I'd rather be broke, but I still have dignity instead of being like how you're seeing all these clowns. Remember that one clown? I don't know who he is on social media, but he was shilling for when the Flash came out. How many shills aren't you seeing being exposed right now, talking about, oh, the Flash is gonna be the best thing since the Dark Knight, and they're saying the same thing right now with Superman. Oh, it's the best thing since the Dark Knight. Yo, come on. It's like a copy and paste. That's their motto that they go by. That's their, like their agenda that they go by. Copy and paste. It didn't work back then. It's not going to work now, and it won't work ever. You got to go back to the drawing board. What worked? What sold? When Zack Snyder was at WB, people were watching these movies. When Michael Bay was at Paramount, people were watching these Transformers movies. When Marvel had the Russo brothers doing everything with Endgame and all that, people were out there watching these movies. This is why they made the high numbers at the box office. And no matter what you say, it's sold. That's what it is. It's not for everybody, but it's not supposed to be for everybody. It's for the people that enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? James Gunn is not for me. Sure, he has some fans out there, but the little bit of fans that he has, it's a handful. It's not enough. James Gunn doesn't have that following like he thinks he does. In James Gunn's mind and in WB's mind, they're probably like, oh, this is going to be the best thing since Guardians of the Galaxy. And what are we going to get? An exact copy and paste of Guardians of the Galaxy slapped with a Superman logo. That's exactly what we're going to see. I don't need to go out there and tell you, hey, this movie's this and that. No, I know that movie's trash because we've already seen all these trailers. All these trailers have revealed to you what is to expect. Why am I going to go and sit there knowing that it's going to be cringe from the first 30 seconds to the end? I know it's going to be cringe. I don't got to go out there and tell you, yo, I'm on a review channel, but I'm going to go and buy a ticket because I'm going to watch it so you don't have to watch it. Screw that. I already know that movie's going to be bad. I don't need to go out there. We all know that it's going to be bad. So why am I going to sit here and chill and say, yo, let me go out there and watch it for you so I can come here and review it? No, we already know that shit's going to be bad. People are already talking about it, They just don't want to accept the reality. Same thing with Michael Bay. You have all these Transformers fans out there, a minority of them, crying and complaining. Oh, it's not G1. Oh, it's not like it's supposed to be in the cartoons or the toys and this and that. Let's stop and analyze that real quick. Before we even had a cartoon show, before we actually had anything with the Transformers, what were they before that? Toys. So who the hell can somebody say that it's accurate or not before the cartoon? Nobody. They're toys. You're playing with your imagination. And what Michael Bay brought and gave us, I want more of that. That's it. And some fans have a hard time accepting that. It's funny how some fans get triggered by my little opinion and they're like, oh, you're not a real fan. I guess to your eyes, but I know what sold and what didn't sold. You see, that's the difference. And let's be real. It just, if it works, You have to keep it. Why are you going to change it? Why you want to do a different formula? Why you want to go different about it? And that's the problem with this industry nowadays. Everything is about new and different. Screw that. If it's been working, keep on going. You get what I'm saying? Like the Fast Saga. I use that example a lot because it started from racing cars and stealing what it was, DVD players at the time. And now they're like freaking agents, saving the world and stuff. And it's like, how did we go from this to this? I don't care anymore. I just care that they're entertaining. That's it. And then it leaves you on a cliffhanger. I'm like, I can't wait for the next one stuff. And then you still have the same cast. You still have the same characters. And if they're off, like they go all out good. You get what I'm saying? And then when they bring them back, it's like, oh wow, okay, damn, they really never did win out. And that's the fun part about it. It's entertaining. You think that I'm gonna get entertained and majority of the fans are gonna get entertained with what James Gunn is doing with Superman? No, it's just catered to kids. I'm not sit there. If I want to see a kids movie, I'll just go and pop in a Disney movie, and that's it. Like, oh, okay, I don't want that. I don't need that. I want what they were giving us with quality. Michael Bay was giving us quality with the Transformers. Some fans are always complaining, oh, I don't want this psychopath Optimus Prime. You don't. I do, and majority of us do, because that's a different take on Optimus. And let's be real, this is war. These characters, the Avengers, the Justice League, the Transformers, how are you gonna have good guys going against bad guys and they're gonna be like, you really think that Optimus Prime in a situation where Unicron's about to take over, or freaking Iron Man is about to face off Thanos, and Batman or Superman's about to tell Darkseid, hey, you know what? We're in the middle of a war, but what would be nice? How about we pull up a chair and just talk about it, right? Let's not ruin our costumes. We're all grown-ups here. Tell me what's the situation. You want to take over the world, but I'm not going to let you. No, Superman's going to kick ass, and Iron Man's going to kick ass, and Optimus Prime is going to rip off a Decepticon's head. Who cares? That's what he has to do. He ripped off Megatron's head, and I love it. I don't care. He took out Sentinel like he had to, because this dude betrayed Optimus. So you're going to tell me, oh, you don't want to see Optimus the way that Michael Bay's portraying him? I love it. Make it more. That's enough. Make it more aggressive. I don't care. If I want to see G1, a weak-ass Optimus, I'll go and watch the cartoons. I don't care about that. I want to see Optimus going at it with his sword. I want to see Optimus blasting all these Decepticons and everything that he has to go through, because this is a war. That's what the hell happened before they came to Earth. What were they doing in Cybertron? A war, going at it. You think they were out there peacefully? You think freaking Megatron's up there like, hey, I want to have a meeting with Optimus, but my schedule is full, but tell him next week I want to take over the world and we're going to talk it over. What? Hell no. Optimus ain't going to do that. You want G1? There you go. That's what G1 is about. It's not like what Michael Bay did. Michael Bay, he took these characters and made them feel like, all right, this shit could be happening right now. Look over your shoulder, look up in the sky. Damn, the moon, that shit look like Unicron's coming. That's what I'm talking about. Same thing with Zack Snyder when he took these characters. Some fans are like, oh, Batman doesn't kill. I know he doesn't. I know that that's his motto. But damn, Batman has to stop some of these bastards. He has to do what's necessary. He's going to throw a batarang. You're going to tell me that if Batman pops anybody on the side of the head with a batarang, that's not going to probably put you in a coma? You damn right. That's metal. That's steel. It's probably sharp. It's going to go through some people. You see what I'm saying? And people are going to be like, oh, no, Batman shouldn't be doing that. He's trying to stop these criminals. He needs to do what's necessary. So it is what it is. What do you think that the same thing with Iron Man, when they're saving and trying to stop these villains in New York and the city's being all crumbled and destroyed and crushed, that the people are not being injured while those buildings are falling? Of course they are. Are these superheroes going to be able to stop everything and everyone, save everyone? No, they can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. Even though they're superheroes, they still can't do that. And that's the same thing that we're seeing now, all right? So you're going to come here, pick and choose. Oh, James Gunn knows what he's doing. How? He has a freaking kaiju destroying the whole city like Godzilla, stomping on people, buildings falling on people. People are being trapped in elevators, but we're just going to sweep that under the rug, right? Because this is James Gunn's movie and Superman's going to save everybody? Impossible. Impossible. Okay, he saved that girl in the trailer, from the building or whatever that's going off, that blows off. Okay, that's one. But what about the other ones that are in the background? Can he go and save them while he's saving one? No, it's impossible. And that's the thing that irritates me about some of the fans. Fans could be the most annoying ones sometimes because they're just so picky. Picky. It's like, yo, this is entertainment. This is not real life. This is just entertainment. Some people take this way too serious. I'm like, yo, just enjoy it for what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the problem with some of these people, like they just can't, and I don't get it, man. Yeah, exactly. You got freaking Superman bashing buildings and going through everything and nobody says anything. Oh, it's okay, right? That's fine. Freaking the worst part about the Superman marketing is the one where I think it's Superman going against that kaiju or whatever the hell he's fighting. I think the dude with the metal gear that he's wearing, that armor or whatever, the Bravo dude, Bravo, I don't even know his name. And the girl's taking a selfie. That's the fucking most ridiculous, hilarious thing that I've ever seen. In the middle of a battle, right? What are people going to be doing when shit's going down? Buildings are breaking. There's destruction, mass chaos everywhere. People are going to be running for their lives. Meanwhile, you have this girl literally watching that you have Superman fighting something outside, destroying buildings, and she's like, hold on. Let me first take a selfie. What? Come on. That's the level of that's the type of people that James Gunn are targeting. Zombies like that, honestly. And it's like, come on, man. In a real life situation, ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody's gonna be sitting while the world's going into chaos. When we were going through the pandemic, people weren't doing selfies. I mean, you saw a bunch of stupidity out there. People wearing like all type of dumb things. But people weren't really doing like, oh, it's a selfie in the middle of a crisis that, people are really going down. No. And that's exactly what James Gunn is doing, throwing and cramming all this humor into it. And of course, some people might be like, oh, but Michael Bay did the same thing with his humor in some of the lines. Yeah, but it worked in it. It worked, and that's not probably him. That's probably the studio that told him, hey, throw a joke in there because we want it to be comedy. If you remove all the comedy from the Michael Bay movies, I'm telling you straight up, that should be a rated R movie. That's how badass it is. When you take away all the jokes from what Marvel puts into their movies, you're pushing a strong PG-13. And the same thing with what Zack Snyder gave us. Zack Snyder from the beginning wanted to give us a rated R universe. Yeah, Man of Steel was PG-13, but I'm talking about when you think about Batman versus Superman, he wanted to do R-rated, but the studio was like, nah, that's a little bit too much. How about we just do a strong PG-13? And Zach was like, yo, I'm still going to film it. And he filmed it. And what's better, the ultimate cut or the regular cut? The regular studio cut. The ultimate cut. And everybody says it. And the same thing with Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Rated R. It worked. It worked. You can't have Wonder Woman talking with Steppenwolf and Superman talking with freaking Darkseid. Hey, hold on. I'm the Man of Steel. I'm Superman. But let's talk this over. Darkseid, it stops here. No, Superman did what he had to do to Steppenwolf with those laser beams. He cut his horn off, and then boom, when they punched him, right, to send them back into what do you call it? to Darkseid. Yo, it's pretty messed up, but it's true. They're in the middle of a war. They're fighting. They're taking out this big threat. When Wonder Woman cuts off the head of Steppenwolf, I was like, damn, that's how you do it. That's straight up. You have to do it. You have to stop these evil forces, however you have to do. And some might be like, oh, but Wonder Woman's an exception because she's an Amazon. It doesn't matter. So if it was Batman doing it, you're still gonna complain because Batman doesn't go by that rule? Come on. They're doing what they have to do. That's the thing. That's what I love about live action movies. If I want to go see a CG movie or I want to just go see cartoons, I'll go and see that. I want to see what these directors were giving us. If that's why, like I'm saying, when these studios are giving it, you're talking very passionately. Yeah, because what I love about these movies, and I know a lot of us do, is that it captures your imagination. That's the whole point. That's the fun part about it. When I go to a movie, I'm gonna be real with you. When I sit down and watch a movie, it doesn't matter what it is, horror, comedy, drama, whatever it is. If it's a drama movie, take my imagination. That's what I want. Capture my imagination. Don't sit here and tell me it's a drama, but now you're throwing jokes in it. And now you're doing this and this. I'm like, yo, hold on. This is a drama. Why is it? You get what I'm saying? I'm already distracted by that. A lot of people don't see that because they're just like, all right, whatever. I'll just watch it. just to watch it and stuff like that. I'm not like that. I'm very selective. I'm like, yo, okay, I'm in the mood to watch a comedy. I want to see a good comedy. I don't want to see action. I want to see comedy make me laugh. That's the whole point of a comedy. Now, if you have something that's suspenseful and you're throwing corny jokes and stupid little gags here and there, I'm like, what? Like this has gone completely off the chart. See what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, certain things with certain movies that it works and it doesn't work. Like, for example, like a lot of people are like, oh, Zack Snyder's Justice League was too dark. It was too damn brute. They never laughed. They never do anything. You had Ezra Miller. He cracked a few jokes here and there. You had Aquaman when he told Batman, oh, I get it. You dress up as a bat. Okay, yeah, cool. I see both point of views. It's funny, and at the same time, it's like, yeah, I see what he's saying. Like, damn, he's really out there dressing up like a bat. And then again, he says another joke right before they go into the Flying Fox. I can't remember what. But it worked. It worked for it. And, if Zach can do it, but nobody likes to give credit for that, it's like, yo, the whole damn movie is not depressing. It has its moments at the right time, and Ezra brought in that comedy. He brought in that humor, for the little spots that he threw in there. Some are going to be like, oh, no, it was just too dark. It was too rude, because they don't want to acknowledge it. But then when you have stupid movies like James Gunn does Suicide Squad, from the moment that it starts with stupid comedy to the moment that it ends, I was like, yeah, this is going to be bad. When I saw the Suicide Squad the first time, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, let's see. All right, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he's bringing to the table at DC. And then when I saw within the first 2 minutes, I was like, this is going to be bad. I was already like, this is cringe. Like, I was like, yeah, this is not going to be good. And as the movie progressed, I was like, damn, this shit gets worse. Peacemaker, the same thing. I was like, from the opening, don't get me wrong, the Peacemaker opening, the song is catchy. Do you want to taste it? Whatever. That's catchy. But it's how they go about doing the intro with the stupid dance. I was like, damn, yo, like, this is just the level of stupidity that we've gone to with this company. Like, how do you go from what Zack Snyder gave us to what James Gunn is putting out? I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And they're losing money. That's the worst part. They lose money. And they know that they're losing money. But it's like, hey, you got a contract you got to fulfill. Your contract doesn't expire until 2026. So what does that put them in? A situation where they're like, you know what? What are you going to do now? That's what they did. They brought that upon themselves. But they're marketing using his name and speculation and rumor. All right, let me see. One screening doesn't determine anything. Well, it's not one screening. It's multiple screenings. And multiple people are coming out saying the same thing. It's not just one person. Oh, hey, this is what I think. No, it's a lot of people starting to come out now. And of course, they can't say and talk a lot about it because remember, they're still under NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. They can't talk about this stuff right now until after the release. I guarantee you, after the release of Superman, you're going to see people like freaking, like all these YouTubers that are shilling right now. They're going to be like, yo, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't talk because I was under contract or I wasn't allowed. You're going to start seeing all those YouTubers. They're going to come out and start telling you the reason that they were shilling. And that's because they all got a paycheck. That's why. I'm entitled to say whatever the hell I want, how I want. First, this is my channel. Second, I have the freedom to say what I want because I don't have a studio that's telling me, hey, we paid you X amount. So now you got to live up to, to that release date. Nah, I can say whatever the hell I want because I'm not being paid. That's the difference. And I love it. I love it. That's why I don't shield. This is why I don't sell out. Because in the end, fuck that. I don't have a price tag. And that's the problem that WB has with channels like me, channels like Aaron Fisher, channels like Harsh Critics, because they know that they can't silence us. They know that, like I've been saying for a while, that we will stop at nothing. And when I say we will stop at nothing, that means that you're not going to silence me whatever way that you think you are. You think you're going to bring me a check and bribe me and be like, hey, look, I'll give you this check if you go ahead and watch Superman. Hell no. I'll get your check, I'll rip it, and I'll tell you, piss off, and I'm going to say what I want. Because I love that. I love the freedom. I love the freedom to be able to come here and talk with y'all and tell y'all exactly how it is. A lot of people they can't say that. The difference is that people are scared of what they think, what others are going to think about them. I don't. And that's why I'm here. This is why I do these videos. I get insulted, disrespected, threatened, name called, everything when it comes to DC, Transformers, hell, even Marvel. And I'm still here talking about it. You know why? Because it's what I enjoy. I bring it to y'all. I'll talk about a video game, and my opinion triggers other fans, and then they go and make videos talking about my opinion because they got triggered. That's their problem. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't care. In the end, I enjoy what I enjoy. The ones that are watching that are enjoying it, so be it. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm here to please and just try to bring some decent content to you. If you enjoy it, cool. Like that's why we are where we are, and the channel's growing, and I'm thankful to each and every one of y'all for watching and listening and stuff like that. You don't have to, but you do. And I'm like, damn, like, all right, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. And that's cool, There's a demographic for each category when it comes to this entertainment business and stuff like that. And this is why I'm taking it upon my hands to now do my own comic book, because I want to do something that these big companies and corporations refuse to do. One, you have to give the fans what they want. If you don't give them what they want, you're just going to lose the customer. You're just going to lose them. What I want to do is bring some good, decent entertainment. And if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't, you're entitled to. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? I'm not here to force nobody, but the ones that are going to read it and look at it and stuff like that, and they enjoy it and they like it, cool. I'm just here for the fans. That's it. I'm not here for like, oh, I'm here for this specific group or the other one. Nah, if you're a fan, if you like what I'm going to start putting out soon, that's what I'm trying to cater to. And that's, who I'm trying to go. Even if it's 3 people. Hell, even if it's 1 person. And maybe it might be 0. I don't know. But the whole point is that I'm just trying to do what I have to do when it comes to that. But that's what it is. In the end, we all enjoy what we enjoy. And we're seeing the product of their own catastrophe, if you want to say. Because with DC, they are where they are right now because they allowed this to happen. The same thing with Hasbro and the same thing with Marvel. And unfortunately, they've literally had to pay the price all these years because they haven't been putting out good content. And when you don't put out good content that's quality, you pretty much lose the fans. And this is where they're at right now. You have comic books that are ending up at the dollar store for $1.25. That's bad. That's really bad in today's economy. And especially when you have manga that's outperforming comic books, that should put you in a big, whoa, what the hell is going on? And it's because they have some type of message. In my stuff that I'm putting, there's no message, there's no agenda. It's just going to be pure badass fun. If you can't handle that, I'm telling you straight up right now, these videos and this content that I put just won't be for you. But I'm going to leave it at that. And I want to thank y'all for watching, for tuning in, all that good stuff. I'm going to catch you on the next one, all right? So y'all stay safe. Thanks for watching, and peace out.